Hello and good morning. Happy Thursday, 19th here of December. Moving right along, right? I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to today's edition of Snow Talk. Only one more left of 2024 of Snow Talk. And then we go on break, as most of the world is going to be doing. And then Snow Talk will be back coming up in January. So tomorrow I will certainly be leaving you guys with an updated look at the longer term and for the winter. So we'll have a lot to cover tomorrow. And there is a chance that I may suddenly appear while the holiday period is going on. If something is interesting taking place, you may hear from me. Otherwise, I hope you don't hear from me. But as always, it's hard for weather enthusiasts to get completely away from the weather. You guys understand that. All right. As always, you guys can comment on our social media side, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, as well as X, I believe. I said X. Is on there. So that's where you can comment, but we're streaming on all of our streaming devices, Roku, Fire Stick, on the Wave Weather app. So you have a lot of options there as well. Okay, so let's get right into the snowboard for the day today. And it's looking a little lonely. It's only one item right now, and that is, of course, the one for tomorrow, which will be the clipper that'll be diving in. I did remove the band of flurries out of the one for Saturday, as right now the potential to get some moisture to show up at the last minute is certainly there. I wouldn't rule that out, but I don't think it's going to be a big ordeal at all. I think it's just going to be very much a very quiet little wave that passes through. So maybe a few flurries. Some may see that, keeping those festive lakes flying through the air, but nothing major. Okay, so I'm hoping the board to fill right back in again when I'm back, which, as I'm about to allude to, and I allude to this a lot in the long term, I do think we will have quite a bit to talk about when Snow Talk does return. All right, today, though, focus is on really just tracking cloud cover. There's no weather systems arriving here today, but we have one that left town, one that is to our north, and they're just interacting, if you will, and that is leading to a cloud bank that has been tough to get rid of today because of the interaction. So therefore, the thermometer is going to struggle today to gain some ground. If you get a little bit more of some sun rays hitting your backyard than other areas, yeah, you have a chance. You can get up there above, say, 45. But a lot of us will likely stay under that 45 mark. In some cases, may even stay under 40. Cold day for sure, but seasonable. Typical December. View from space shows the clouds. Hard to tell the different layers because the sun isn't high enough yet to really pick them out, but they're there. Moving across Kentucky and Indiana. If I broaden out the scope, maybe you'll be able to see the clipper a bit better. With this cloud cover already begin to show up into Missouri and Chicagoland. That is going to be racing our way rapidly this afternoon. So this is the leftover clouds from the front that came through the past couple of days. Well, the clouds just could not get over the mountains, if you will. So they're stuck basically there and it's kind of lingering across the upsloping of the Appalachians. And because of that, our next clippers batch of clouds are running into it and then it creates a traffic jam. So that's why it's hard to get sun in our area in the colder months of the year, because they do seem to dam up a lot against the mountains. Anyway, let's get rid of the clouds. Let's look at the clipper. And it looks impressive on radar, right? Look at the big blob of Snow coming our way. This would be nice. I love that track to be a little more over here and do Nebraska and then zipping down toward Memphis and Nashville. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? That would easily give us a 1 to 3 inch snow, maybe even a touch more. Be beautiful. But this one's not going to do that. This one's going to be diving near us and then off to the east. Well, for clippers, you don't want to be on the track. You want to be a good 100 miles or so to the northeast of the track to be in the sweet spot, if you will, for snowfall. But the track is not in our favor. But still, the actual track itself, the center of it, is going to have moisture with it as it moves on by. So we'll have, just like you would with a typical low pressure, you guys know the big red L's that we show on the weather maps a lot. I know this one's yellow. I don't have time to change it to red, but you get the idea. Because it's counterclockwise flow, you end up with these southerly flows. You get a warm front in advance of it, and then on the backside you get the backlash colder air, right? This one's going to be very similar. That's what a clipper is a mini low pressure. So when it gets closer to us, this little spoke here on the southern part of the low, when it first moves in, may actually be in the form of rain. It'll then go to snow, and then anything on the backside of the system for the rest of the afternoon will be in the form of snow, because it'll be a colder flow of air. But our precipitation type is going to change a bit from morning through even midday as the low passes by and changes up our wind direction there. So let me show you what it looks like as this evolves. First off, the cold air. Well, one thing it's needed to really make this thing even more impressive, we need Arctic air really in place. That's up here, that gray shade, purple, that's the Arctic air. But that's what the clipper is bringing with it. It's not ahead of it. This is stale Canadian air that is modified over our area, and therefore it has just enough to allow this to be a wintry system for us. A little bit more warmer air, and it wouldn't be, but not cold enough to where it causes big problems with icy roads or higher snowfall accumulation. So there's always a careful balance in these setups, and this one just happens to be where it's taking advantage of stale Canadian air. Therefore, it does have its limits, not to mention the warm ground. Also works against it. So here it is on Futurecast. We're fine through tonight. Any last minute errands you need to run, you're in good shape. You get into tomorrow morning, and that's the first little spoke from the southern part of the L that pushes in. And notice we're near 40, and this is near sunrise tomorrow. So the radar Futurecast, anyway, already reading that initial band is likely rain. That's showing yellow. That yellow, in this case, you would have to interpret as sleet. So this is likely going to be a rain, sleet, grapple, which is soft hail, but it looks like snowflakes. And in some cases, snow. Yeah, you may have just a potpourri of different types there with that band moving through. But my suspicion is either raindrops or ice pellets, sleet. They may hear that bounce on your windshield tomorrow as you're driving into work or for the kids there at school. It's not going to cause any problems. We're above freezing. Just want to mention that. But again, this is the leading edge of the lull. So as the clipper moves on by, we then change our wind direction up. We get colder air. Our temperatures actually drop. And then from here on out, it's snow showers and snow globes passing on by. But remember what I've always told you guys. When it comes to these marginal light snow events with a warm ground, that this time of the year, daytime snow is not a friend for us. You want a nighttime snow to have a better opportunity to get a little more impressive at least accumulation potential out of it. And I'm talking just getting anything out of it. This is a daytime snow. So most of you will have 0 on the ground out of this. The only way that will change is by rate. If the snow shower rate is heavy enough, it will overpower a warm ground, and your temperature in your thermometer in your yard, this is 34 degrees outside, technically still above freezing. But if it's snowing hard enough, it will overcome that. It will then start to accumulate grassy areas, cars, and rooftops. But as soon as it starts to ease back, it starts to melt away rapidly. We've seen these many, many times. So I just want to explain that this is a daytime snow, so I'm not as excited about it because of that. But I am excited about it because it is going to be a festive day of flakes flying around at times. And if you're out doing some holiday shopping, you got friends coming in town, it just adds to the holiday spirit, in my opinion. So I love these kind of events when they don't bother anybody, but they keep the mood going. Thinking about the holiday season. So there you go. That's the clipper. Moves on by, may linger with flurries really into Saturday morning. What surprised me one bit, but icy roads are not going to be a huge concern here. I will say less than an inch because I think it's obvious it's going to be less than an inch, but it won't be as filled in as the map shows. I mean, it's only going to be, if we had to draw this technically, it would be like a little gray area here, maybe a little patch of gray here, maybe a little patch over here that would take place. So there's not going to be a lot of areas that would run into problems with. There we go. We're back on. All right. Sorry about that. My system decided that it was just going to just take a nap today. I didn't like what I said. Most of you, again, will be 0. That's what I was trying to say in a long-winded way. Notice up in Ohio, though, yeah, maybe an inch or 2 up in Ohio. They'll be a little closer to the core. If you're wondering about the matrix, where's Adam at? The matrix here for this snow event, it's about the same as the past several have been, right? I know it's hard to see the numbers. Don't worry about that. Just look at how much of this is filled in for Friday, and not all of them are filled in. It's missing probably about 30% are not filled in, and the ones that are gray. So it only confirms, again, this is a light snow. But it is interesting that for Christmas morning, these ensemble members will not give away. And sometimes it increases quite a bit in the afternoons and the morning runs. They go back down again. I wouldn't worry about that. I'm not. I think it's just where the modeling could see there could be at night, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve night, there could be maybe a brief little chance for some rain snow mix. But right now, the support against that is overwhelming. So that's why it's not in the forecast. But hey, you can't ignore this data either sometimes. So you got to watch those carefully. And we are. But right now, the signal has not gotten louder. It's been holding status quo, looks like, for right now. So we'll see how that trends. All right, let's get into the weekend outlook. Weekend outlook looks cold. Flurries around on Saturday, first day of winter. It's at 4 something in the morning. I will not be getting up that early for that. But if you are, open the door up. I would say yell and celebrate, but don't wake up your neighbors. Sunday actually won't be too bad. Won't be bad. Better chance to get some sun on Sunday, but still cold in the 30s. Next week, well, we got this cold pocket of air that arrives here this weekend, but it's transient cold. The block that we've had in the Atlantic, we've lost it. So because of that, these cold attacks, they just can't stay much longer than 36 hours or so. And then they're like, all right, it's time for us to go. But remember what I've said about cold air. It's heavy, it's lazy, it's slow, it's sluggish, it hangs low to the ground. So the models sometimes want to be in too big of a hurry on pushing this out. And that's why the system for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I think that's why the ensembles keep trying to throw in snowflakes getting mixed in with this, because it's trying to debate on whether or not this cold air will still be lingering here when the system develops. And by all means, that is possible. There's just not a lot of data supporting that. And if I just had to go purely on a historical context of this scenario, usually the warmer idea wins. So we'll see how that trends. Once it passes on by, it is a warming trend in all layers of the atmosphere. It's full on warming, getting close to 60, in fact. Rain, maybe some thunder. I don't see anything severe, although this system here at the very end of the month, the 28th, does have a little more of a kick to it on thunderstorm potential. So I need to watch that around next weekend, not this one, but the next one after Christmas. And then that leads us into what is coming our way later into January. Now, I'm not going to get too in the weeds on this, but this is looking at the stratosphere. What you need to know is for the top box there, for the mean wind, I'm looking for a dip. I want it to drop down. And at the same time, in the temperature box down below, I want it to trend up. If they both do that at the same time, which they usually do, that indicates the polar vortex is on the move, and cold air, again, will be on the move as well. Well, sure enough, when you look at this, all the ensembles here, as you get toward New Year's Day, the wind is relaxing or reversing in some cases, and temperatures are trying to increase. That signal means that a polar vortex, again, could be on the move. Whether it could be a split or a stretch, we don't know, but at least some cold air could be available again. Usually it's about a 10-day delay from what we see on the atmosphere aloft doing this, is about a 10-day relay and reaction. So that would still put it about mid-January that we really could see winter fight back. But we'll see. It's the strongest signal I've seen so far of the vortex being up to some fun and games. So we'll see if it can live up to that, or will it all be different tomorrow? All right, here's your 10-day. And any questions, let me know on this. I think it's pretty easy 10-day this year. Quiet today. There's the Flurry machine tomorrow, snow globe machine coming our way. Again, not worried about travel at all. And then we get into a cold weekend and then some spotty showers, not that will cause too big of an impact on travel, even with the rain out there. Let's see. Hey, Cameron, do you think that we could be part of that severe weather next week that seems to be forming? Not right now, just due to timing. I think it's going to be Missouri and Arkansas that, due to timing and placement of these systems, would run a potential on that. We likely get the typical leftovers. Let's see. I'm glad you all watching the Snow Talk. I appreciate it. I put a lot of work into this and try to get it out as much as my brain can handle. You guys are like my my friends that I can vent to about weather, because my real friends just run. They're like, oh no, here he goes talking about cumulonimbus again. Anyway, I appreciate y'all as always. But we got one more day, all right? So let's, I'm going to be on the shows today. We'll trend on this clipper tomorrow. Maybe it'll be snowing when I'm outside tomorrow in the weather garden as it moves on by. That'll be a lot of fun and festive. Nice way to end this year. And again, I'll go through a longer term setup on the blog tomorrow as well. So make sure to tune in for that. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. And I will see you all on the flip side.